A good 15, 20 years ago, a book came out called Everything I Needed to Learn, I Learned in Kindergarten. It's a good book. I mean, basic things that you have to learn to share, right? To flush your toilet afterwards. But for me, I mean, yes, I learned a lot in kindergarten, but being a product of the 70s and 80s, I have to be truthful with you that everything I needed to learn in life, I think I learned on television. Lots of things. I learned how to evade that horrible sheriff by hopping in the General Lee and going across the county line. I learned how to deal with evil in the world by joining up with the Charlie's Angels to solve mysteries and crimes. I learned to do my ABCs by following the road to Sesame Street. I learned how to use my imagination and not be afraid to go into make-believe and to welcome everyone as part of my family and Mr. Rogers. But of all of the TV shows that I watched growing up, absolutely nothing gave me as many life lessons as the Brady Bunch. You know the Brady Bunch. Mike Brady, Carol, they each have 3 kids. Mike has 3 boys, Carol has 3 girls. They get married, they move into the house with the fake green lawn in the back. Remember that? They have, of course, Alice, who always provides the comic relief. But if you look at the lessons that I learned from that, there's some great lessons. Learning how to get along with one another. Learning how to deal when you're being teased by somebody. Learning not to throw the ball inside the house because it might break something very important. And each of the kids had such personalities, but the one who I always I still to this day just keep shaking my head about is poor Marcia. As Jan would say, Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. It was always about Marcia. And I do have sympathy for Marcia because she was the oldest of the 3 girls. She moves in with the family. She's no longer the oldest because Greg is now older. She has to share a room with her sisters, and all 6 of them have to share that bathroom together. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. But Marcia, for all her faults, was a good young woman. So good that she wasn't afraid to be around people that others might have looked down upon. In fact, she had her friend Molly Weber. Molly was a dowdy young woman. She wore not so pretty dresses. The best thing I could describe is go to the 5 and 10 and look at the house dresses that some people wear in their homes. That's what it was like. She didn't wear makeup. She had big glasses. Her hair wasn't pretty. I mean, she was very smart and very nice, but everyone teased Molly. And they teased her so much that there was a competition to see who was going to chair the big banquet that was coming up. And whoever was the chair got to sit with an astronaut. And they nominated Molly for that. They also nominated Marcia. But Marcia, she took pity on her friend, and so she took it upon herself that she was going to transform Molly into something totally different. She taught her how to walk, how to talk, how to dress, how to interact. And Molly became so popular after she was transformed that Molly won the competition. She was to chair the banquet, and she got to have the astronaut go on a date with her. Far-fetched. But guess how Marcia felt. If you would have been in her place, if you would have done everything to help this person, and then she gets recognized for something that you thought you should be recognized for you, I don't know about you, but I might be a little ticked off, to say the least. See, Marcia is a human being just like you and me, and if she sees something that she considers to be injustice, she's going to get upset. And see, Jesus knew that that's exactly how we human beings think. We have our views of what's right and what is wrong. And so this morning we hear this parable, the story about Jesus talking about the landowner who has a vineyard, who goes out, gets the day laborers. Some of them come first in the morning, some come at noon, some come at 3, some come at 5. They do a hard day's work. And when the day is done and it's time for them to get paid, those who came at the very end got the exact same wage as those who worked all day long. I don't know a single one of us in here who would say that that sounds right. If I go and work a full day on something and I'm supposed to get a certain amount of money, and then Ellie comes in and does nothing, and she gets the same amount of money, it might sound fair to her, but it doesn't sound right to me. But Jesus is trying to make a different point here. And I think that point is twofold. First off, Jesus is trying to show that God is a God of generosity. That it doesn't matter how late we come to God in our lives, that as long as we turn to Jesus and love Him and serve Him, God will give us the same rewards as those who have been faithful to Christ from the very beginning. Because God's love is abundant and all-encompassing. I think most of us can grasp that one. But the second, more challenging lesson is for the times in your life and my life when we start thinking about our family life, our workplace, our school, our church, and look at those people who come in after us. And we've been doing all this hard work, and they go and get the praise, and we sit back and say, who does that person think she or he is? I've been here slaving away. I've been doing this for this company, I've been doing this for this church, I've been doing this for my family, and they're the ones who get the recognition? When we start putting ourselves above other folks, thinking we're better than anybody else, we've lost it. We've lost the big picture. We've lost the fact that it takes each and every one of us in all that we do to make a difference, especially for those who believe and who serve God. You know, some in this congregation have been here for years. Some have been here only for the last week or 2 or 3. And for the countless generations who have come before, have done all this work, and those who have come recently, as far as God is concerned, each and every one of the members of this parish needs to work together for the glory and love of God to help share our mission. Because it's not about, hey, I've been here forever, so I should be complimented for this. It's, hey, we're in this for the glory of God. Maybe you're holding some resentment in your life right now for whether it be school, work, the church, your family, for somebody you think is getting the recognition that you should be getting. Take a moment and really look deeply in yourself and ask yourself, what is that all about? Is it about pride? Is it about jealousy? Try to give it over to God and to recognize that it's not about you, it's not about me, it's not about she, it's not about he. It's about doing things together for our world and our country, our church, and the future. There's a lot of hard knocks involved with learning this. But it's amazing the difference you'll feel when you come off on the other side. So Molly got to take that astronaut to the banquet. But 2 things happened. First off, Mr. Brady, as he always did in 30 minutes, was able to solve the problem, and he sat down with Marcia and he helped her to understand a bit of her jealousy and where she went and how she could keep her friendship. And Molly herself, who became a little snotty, thinking she was better than not, actually brought the astronaut to the Brady house the night of it and asked Marcia to co-host the banquet with her. Everything ended well in 30 minutes. And imagine if that's in TV land, that's just fake, how much more things can end up well in our lives when we ask God through Christ to give us the advice and to help us.